Okay. Hello, everyone. Today we're interviewing Keaton from Raymond Construction, a large commercial construction company. He's a superintendent and he's currently in charge of the Publix shopping center. And Publix is a large grocery store chain, Florida based. Okay, Keith. The first question we have for you is, how do you lead the business?
I'm actually the on-site superintendent to take care of all the activities that happen at the physical building.
Okay. The next question is, what is your leadership style like? Describe your leadership style.
Definitely not authoritarian. I like to work as a team. We keep the group that I have multiple superintendents on the site. We have a lot of things happening on a multi-million-dollar project like this. So we try to be a cohesive team and work together, support each other. I am the general superintendent, so I'm over the whole project, and then I have the subordinates that work with me. So I try to keep it light. I try to keep it friendly. I don't like the hard fist, hard hand type leadership.
Okay, and now that you've said this, like, what type of leader do you aspire to be? Like, if you can improve your leadership?
I want to be the leader that anybody would be happy to come to with questions, concerns, problems, things like that. Fortunately, we have that right now. I do not want to be the leader that people are afraid to come and talk to.
Okay. And how do you know when your leadership is working or not working?
Okay, I can probably say I'm pretty blessed that I haven't been affected with not working. I do try to keep everybody happy. They still have to accomplish a job, accomplish a mission, but I try not to cause any kind of issues. If somebody has a question or a problem, I try to resolve it immediately so that they continue with their work, because I work with so many different trades that are working on this building. And so if there's an electrical problem, I try to get that resolved. Or an air conditioning problem, a building problem, whatever the problem may be, I try to resolve it as fast as I can so nobody has issues to continue their work.
Okay.
Okay, so Keith, who is your leadership role model and why is it?
Okay, I'm going to get in trouble, I think. The leadership like the former President Trump, who takes charge, makes things happen, wants to see results, things like that. I don't want to be a passive guy who doesn't allow things to happen, because we have such a tight schedule that you have to be hard-handed at times, but you don't want to make people upset. So I like leaders like that. Lee Iacocca with Chrysler Corporation is another one. His line in the world was, you don't have to know how to build a Chrysler, you just have to surround yourself with people who do. So that's something I live by. So somebody who surrounds themselves with people who know how to get the job done. One, it makes my job so much easier. And then I don't have to force things to happen. So my leadership style is that guy who surrounds himself with good people.
Okay, so if you could describe your leadership style in just one word, what word would it be?
One word. Motivated. I think motivated because I push to get a job done. And if you put that sense into your other trades that are working for you, to your other superintendents there, they see that you're motivated, they will get motivated. That gets the job done.
And how do you manage people? The people you work with, how do you manage them?
I'm clear and concise in directions to let people know what needs to be accomplished, the time frame it needs to be accomplished, and how it needs to be accomplished. You can't forget that we can push a schedule and make this building go up very fast, but we also need a very good building, a quality building. So I push a lot on quality, I push a lot on teamwork, and I let the people that work with me make decisions in the teamwork process.
And after that, how do you manage yourself? How do you keep yourself together?
We have a very good computer system that we can do a lot of investigation, a lot of research, a lot of management. So what I try to do is I try to make sure I hit all the goals that we set for ourselves, and especially when we set the schedule for the building to get done. So I manage myself by the point I'm at the job, whether I'm ahead or behind. And then I'll go from there and either redirect trades to get something else done, get me on schedule, or find out what the problem is, why we're off schedule, resolve that problem, and try to get us back on schedule.
Okay, and another question about management. What is your ideal vision for management?
Ideal vision. That would be probably if I could stand in front of the building where I'm doing land development, asphalt, underground work, the building's going, retail spaces next door is going. If I could stand in front of that building and every single person knows that they can come and talk to me, come directly to me. If they messed up, tell me. Let's get it resolved, get it done. I'm not a yeller or screamer. You will never hear me yell and scream on a job site. I don't cuss and belittle anybody. So I want to be that kind of guy that when I walk into the building and there's 40 and 50 guys working, not a single one of those guys has an issue to walk up to me and say, hey, I need something here. Can you help me in this? Can you find this out for me? That kind of thing. I don't want anybody to be afraid of coming up and talk to me just because of the position I hold.
And if you can describe how do you cultivate a mindset of investment in the business among employees, like how do you encourage your employees to care as much as you do in your business? You can talk about that.
That's a loaded question. Good leadership is the ability to tell somebody to do something and they're happy to do it for you. That's what good leadership is. So if you instill that into the people that work with you, that they know that, hey, I make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes. If you make a mistake, let me know, let's get it done. You know, I don't want to talk about negatives only because the positives, we get the building done. The negatives are mistakes are made. And when those mistakes are made, we need to ensure that subcontractors, other superintendents, laborers, anybody who's working on the job site has the same mindset as myself, that we want to get the job done, we want to get it done on time, and we want to get it done in a quality manner so that the client has a building, Publix in this instance, has a building that they're proud to open up and let the public come in. So you can't belittle people. You can't talk down to them. You can't yell and scream and cuss at them. You have to treat them fairly. You have to treat them professionally. And if they mess up, you have to professionally correct them. That's the best way to keep the mindset going. Then once you get those people to trust you and listen to you and do the thing, their mindset will automatically be adjusted to they want to get the job done as well as I do. So that's the way I try to look at it.
Okay, and related to the last question, how do you incentivize employees?
Subcontractors have their own employees, and it's not my position to incentivize them. I have to encourage their leaders to get the job done on time with quality. As far as incentivizing the guys that work for me, directly work for me with J. Raymond Construction, we do a lot of things, you know, like tomorrow morning, for instance, the whole team will go out and have breakfast. We go out and have breakfast, and we'll do lunch once or twice a week. And I'll pick that up, you know, and buy them lunch and buy them breakfast, you know, to tell them that I appreciate what they do for me and the things that they do, because I do cover other jobs, and I'll disappear off the job site and they'll have to run the job and get it done. I have no fear that when I leave the job site and I come back that the place is falling down. These guys work very well. They've been trained well, and they will get the job done without my presence there, which is an incentive for them to move up into a general superintendent type position, you know, so that they can move up in the company, they can move up in pay, move up in responsibility, and things like that. So by buying lunch and breakfast is no big deal, but the incentive is for them. My biggest incentive is for them to replace me. I want them to someday be able to take my job. And that's the perfect thing to get these employees to step up and get the job done.
Okay, and about the strategy, how do you make strategic business decisions either in time of crisis or time of opportunity?
Okay, that's at the very beginning of the job. We set up a schedule. It's a fluid schedule. We can adjust it all we need to. When I set the schedule up at the beginning of the job, I set it up with my project manager, the owners of J. Raymond, with the owners of Publix on this job. And we will say, what date do you want to open the store? We will set a schedule to get that date and make that date for them. And if that date is not hit, then we've missed what our goal was. So we have to make, as you said, strategic business decisions. Sometimes I may have to overlap trades to work together in certain areas to make up time. That's some of the things that we can do. I may have to work with Publix and ask them, say, wait a minute, you're supplying this material, but you're late in supplying the material. You're affecting my schedule. And we have meetings once a month with the management of Publix to discuss things like that. And for instance, we just got the air conditioner today, the main air conditioner for the whole store, for which we should have had 30 days ago. So did that affect my schedule by 30 days? Not really, because I continue to work interior of the building. Get it done. We set the air conditioner today. Hopefully we catch up and that box is checked off and we can continue with the schedule. Right now I'm behind on the air conditioning because I was missing a piece of equipment, which was owned and delivered by Publix themselves, not J. Raymond. So with us placing that today, I've checked that box up and maybe that 30 days will slide up and I can and still make my date. We have a December opening date that we're trying to hit, and I think we're going to make it. You know, and the opportunity is that with experience, you learn to alleviate things or you learn to adjust to them and try to make the time up. And if you realize that you can't, then that's when you start talking to management and saying, okay, we're not going to make the start date or whatever. But we try never to miss a start date.
Okay, and for our last question and final question, what advice do you have for aspiring leaders like us, for example?
You've got to pay attention to details. You have to be able to manage people, which means you've got to be able to work with people, have people trust you, respect you. If you lose respect for the people, your job will never get done. So you've got to keep the respect with the people. You've got to keep the respect with the management, with respect to owners. I mean, so when you're talking about owners, you're talking about multimillionaire type people who want things done a certain way. You have to be able to accommodate them without causing any problems between management, J. Raymond, the owners, the developers, all those different people. So if you're aspiring to be a superintendent, the biggest thing is you got to learn how to manage people, how to control people, and how to keep a schedule.
So, Keith, we've come to the end of our interview. Thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
You got it.
Listo, ya. Termino la
Yeah?
grabación.
Okay.
Espera, espera.
Thank you so much, Keith. ¿Estás grabando?